X/Twitter has released its latest update, and the artist community on the platform have collectively lost their mind. They're sick of it. They're done with it. They're talking about leaving the platform, going somewhere else. And yes, why it is specifically AI. We can't get away from it anymore. I think everybody collectively is just sick of AI in some way, shape, or form. Like, I think the whole RAM prices thing has definitely tilted a lot of people. You have, like, cost of powers going up for a lot of people. They're talking about SSDs now possibly being hard to get. It's just all, it's all screwed up. But anyways, coming back to this, yes, there's been a new update on the platform, and everybody's talking about leaving the platform. And even the artist of Dr. Stone is talking about not leaving the platform, but at least not posting any of his panels and art on the platform anymore. And yes, it all has to do with AI. What this update is that there's a new button whenever you post an image on the platform. There's a little button that says Edit Image. And what that does is it brings up another panel where you can tell Grok to do something with the image, and it will edit the image. That's the update. Now, yeah, some of you out there, and me personally, had the same response. Some of you out there are saying, wait, Andrew, it already does this. And you'd be correct. Yes, if you take any image and give it to Grok, Grok will edit it. But now there's a button there, and so everybody's upset about it. And I understand why. There's a lot of people out there that just don't want their stuff messed with by AI. And now there's literally, every time they post something on their platform, their feed, it's literally saying, hey, we're going to mess with it. Like, how can if you're like an artist and you spend several days on something and then you post it on your feed, and the moment you post on your feed, it's saying, hey, we're going to let people edit this, like the button's popping up in your face. I can see why this upsets people. But at the same time, there's the other side of me that goes, it's always been there. Like, if you ever post anything, and I have an example here, and I'm purposely choosing something that's AI so that nobody gets upset with me here. If you find an image on the platform, Merry Christmas, by the way, you can click the little Grok button right here and say, edit the image. Like, this feature's always been here. It's just, now it's a button down here. It's the same, it's the same button. You're telling Grok, look at this image, but they're two different buttons. But anyways, let's come back here to see what exactly they said in response to this whole situation, because I think their input as an artist, I think, is pretty big. They say, to my beloved fans, it is with a heavy and broken heart that I write these words. As many of you already know, this decision comes from the newly updated feature on X. I think with how much outrage was happening over the edit button, I'm sure most people know exactly what that feature is. They don't even say what it is. For the time being, I will pause the publication of my comics and illustrations on X. Yeah, like I said before, this is like where they boast all their panels on the platform. It's been a while. Let's keep scrolling. We'll eventually get to one. Unless he's deleted some of them. Maybe they might have deleted some just because this whole change came into effect. They didn't like it. There, I found it. Yeah, you can see that they post their comic on here all the time. Really, really cool. A lot of people really love watching this stuff and reading through the stuff when it was posted on here. Really good artwork as usual for them. I want to be clear. I do not fear AI. I do. I think everybody should in some way. In some way, you should fear AI. It's good to have a good, healthy fear, even if you do really love AI. In fact, I believe it's the future and the possibilities it may bring. However, I cannot accept my works being used, learned from, or exploited without my consent or proper compensation. This is the unfortunate reality. And if I could speak to this artist directly, I would say this. It was already happening. This button on your picture does not suddenly make it accessible by AI. It has always been. The moment you put it on the internet, no matter what platform you put it on, I think most people have come to an understanding at this point that it has it. If you put it anywhere, it has it. Even if a website that you're posting on has a little toggle button in the settings that says, don't use my stuff for machine learning, it's getting somewhere. Even if that platform doesn't touch your information, some other platform does. Good example is that if you were to go to Grok right now and ask it a question, it will most of the time tell you a source for where it gets its information from. Here's the conclusion I have, and there'll be a source. And you can click on that source and find out where it's from. It's never from this platform. In most cases, it's not from this platform. It's getting it from Reddit or something like that. Did X/Twitter/Grok, did they ever ask Reddit for permission to scrub their entire website for information? No. They're all collectively doing that. That's sort of the annoying reality of AI, is that it's making a lot of its information coming from literally scrubbing the entire internet. And even if one platform has a clause to not affect your stuff for its learning, it's grabbing from elsewhere, and everybody else is grabbing from them. It's just like this collective grabbing of information that's happening, and yeah, It's happening. Even without that button, it's happening. And like I said before this button was here, it was here. So nothing has really changed. It's just moved locations, and it's a lot more easier. And I think that's probably what is upsetting, is that it's so upfront. It's so in your face. Like I said before, you spent, this is again AI, but if I spent like hours upon hours making this and then I post it, and the moment I post it, this pops up on my screen. It's like, oh, thank you. I spent hours on this thing, and now somebody's just going to change it just with a click of a button and typing a prompt. Your information is not safe anywhere. Even if they remove this button, it's still going to use the information. It's unfortunate. I care deeply about X, together with my Canadian friend who helps translate my words into English and shares with me the voices and stories of fans from overseas. We have worked hard to build something meaningful here. This place has given us a precious experience and memories. This is a sad thing about this whole change and how it upsets them, because I agree with them. Like, what they're doing here with everybody, sharing their works with everybody is fantastic. And I do 100% agree with them that despite my issues that I have, even with the X platform myself, I've been through harassment campaigns on there. I've had death threats. The platform was very good about banning people that were sending me death threats during that time. A lot of kudos for that. But not all of them. Not all of them. It's a good platform overall for a creator and communicating to people. If I honestly wasn't doing what I was doing with content creation, I would not be on any social media in general, especially not X. But because there's a lot of stupidity and toxicity on the platform for sure, because it's one of the biggest platforms out there. But there's a lot of tools and whatnot for communities. There's the community groups that you can create. There's the subscriptions and stuff that you can set up. There's a lot of cool things you can do with communities. So it sucks for them, honestly, for stepping away because of this. Precisely because I like X, and because I believe it can become a good place for the future of manga, I have shared my most valuable works here. For now, I will stop posting my comics and illustrations on X. Instead, I will begin sharing my comics and illustrations on Instagram. No! Instagram does it too. They do it too. They're very public about it too. They all do it. Your stuff's gonna get learned on Instagram too. If you think adding a edit button on your image is some change, it's always been there. Like I said, Grok has always been able to do that before. It's just now it's a direct button. If you think that's bad, posting on Instagram is equally bad. Meta and all of them, they learn off it too. It's the unfortunate reality. You can't escape this stuff. I don't mean to sound harsh here, but rather than get away from your community and do something elsewhere that's going to have the same effect, you might as well stay on this platform and not affect your fans. Most people probably won't even press the stupid button, but you're actively going out of your way to go to another platform, to another learning model that's going to feed off your information just because of one learning model's button on your image. And again, I could see this being a decision made just because that button's there, because it's in your face. It's disrespectful in that regard, and I can see that. Please understand, this does not mean I am leaving X. I will remain here, continue sharing my news, and continue talking with you. I simply won't post my artworks here for the time being. Please enjoy my comics and illustrations on Instagram. Again, it's doing it there too. And I will wait for the day when I can once again share my works on X. I sincerely hope that day will come. Boichi. I don't see it happening. I unfortunately don't see it happening. So you're going to have to choose if you want both models, learning and editing your images, or just one of them. It's not changing. Because I think from a perspective of the X platform and Twitter / whatever, their perspective is we want to have people that are on here. They're scrolling, they see an image, they're like, oh man, put a cat in the image. Put a cat in her lap. By the way, this is an AI image, so I'm editing an AI image. Don't get mad at me. I do the normal art elsewhere when I'm not on here. What? Yeah, there's a cat on there now. That's what Grok is doing. They want people that they're on the platform, they're scrolling through, and they go, oh crap, throw a cat on there. And then they move on with their life. That's what they're doing it for. Because a lot of people believe this is something for stealing it and whatnot. They could totally do that. I'm not saying there's not malicious people out there that are going to use this to go, scrape that watermark off of it. But honestly, those people are already doing it. Like I said before, this has already been a feature. If I right click on this, I hit copy image, I click on Grok, I paste it in there, I say add a cat to her lap. Bam. The feature was already in here. It's called Grok. It's on the left here. It's already been in here. You could already do this. And no, if you put don't use my image for AI, it didn't keep it from doing it. It's always been a feature. Either way, I feel bad. I honestly, it does feel bad. I think having again, prolific artists that, you know, have a great fandom on the base. You know, they're having a lot of fun. They're enjoying their content together. Having like something like this pop up and really kind of, you know, push them off the platform is never good. Again, I don't think it necessarily will be changed. It's probably going to be a permanent feature. They want something that the masses of the entire platform will enjoy. And losing the artist community is not going to affect that. And probably in their mind, give it a week, those artists will be back. The only time the outrage actually changes something is when it affects big, important people. We all know that. But anyways, that's my take on this whole situation. It sucks, but at the same time, it's always been a feature. It's always been here. It's just more in your face. And again, I probably think that's probably why people like Boichi here is really upset, is the fact that it's very disrespectful when you post something and suddenly it's up in your face saying, we're going to change things. People can edit your stuff. You like this? Which sucks. Anyways, that's the news. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you found it informative. If you did, hit the like button down below. If you like this content, you want to support it, become a member. Until next time, take care. And Merry Christmas if you're celebrating it.